Are you unsure which O-level or A-level subjects to choose? In this video, I'll share a step-by-step guide to help you choose the right subjects with confidence and avoid common mistakes many students make. Welcome to Serendib Tutor. If you haven't watched my video comparing Sri Lankan A-levels with London A-levels, that's Cambridge and Pearson Edexcel, be sure to check it out from my video list, and don't forget to turn on captions and select your preferred language for a more comfortable viewing experience. Over my 14 years of teaching Edexcel and Cambridge O-level and A-level students, I have witnessed one heartbreaking pattern repeat itself time and time again. The real tragedy in education isn't failing an exam. No, the real tragedy is the deep regret that comes from making the wrong choices at the very beginning. It's the student who realizes halfway through the year that they are studying subjects they absolutely dread, simply because they chose the wrong combination before they even stepped into the classroom. So I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself this. Why do so many bright, capable and hardworking students fall into this academic trap? Before we uncover the solution, take a second to think about what really causes this mistake. What makes someone commit themselves to 2 full years of studying subjects they don't enjoy? To help you avoid this situation, I have put together a simple roadmap for today's discussion. The subject selection trap. Let's begin by talking about one of the biggest mistakes students make: choosing subjects for the wrong reasons. Here is how that trap works. A student chooses a subject simply because their best friend picked it, or because one of the senior students said that it's an easy A subject, or because of a relative who pressurized the student into taking a subject because they believe it guarantees a specific career, even though that advice may be outdated. Making decisions based on friendships, rumors, or someone else's expectations almost always leads to disappointment. In the short term, you lose your enjoyment of learning, and in the long term, you may unknowingly close doors to university courses and career pathways you actually wanted to pursue. Start with a self audit. The next step is to look inward before looking outward. This is where you need to become actively involved in the decision making process. I want you to sit down with your parents, take a pen and a piece of paper, and honestly answer these 4 important self audit questions. First, what do I genuinely enjoy learning? Question 2, what am I naturally good at? 3. What skills or qualities do my teachers regularly praise me for? Question number 4. Which subjects do I dislike or find particularly challenging? Writing your answers down gives you a much clearer understanding of who you are as a learner and where your natural strengths lie. Now let's connect those answers to real world subject choices. If you enjoy organizing events and managing money, then business studies or travel and tourism could be an excellent fit. If you're always coding, solving technical problems, or taking gadgets apart to see how they work, then computer science or mathematics might be ideal. If you're fascinated by machines and how things are built, engineering pathways may suit you perfectly. If you love drawing, photography, creating logos, or expressing yourself creatively, art and design could be the right direction. If you're naturally confident in speaking, telling stories, or communicating ideas, media studies is definitely worth considering. And if you're genuinely curious about people, emotions, and human behavior, psychology can be an incredibly rewarding subject. When your interests align with the subjects you study, your motivation increases, and so do your chances of achieving excellent results. Plan for university and careers. Now it's time to zoom out and think about the bigger picture. Before finalizing any subject combination, ask yourself these three essential questions. Which country do I hope to study in? Which university am I interested in? What degree would I eventually like to pursue? I honestly can't emphasize this enough. Spending just 5 minutes doing focused research today can save you from enormous disappointment 2 years later when you're applying to universities. Let's look at how specific some university requirements can be. If you want to study medicine, you'll generally need biology and chemistry. Engineering almost always requires mathematics and physics. Architecture often requires mathematics and, in many cases, an art and design portfolio. Business related degrees may recommend mathematics, econ, or business studies. And law usually benefits from strong essay-based subjects such as English, history, or politics, helping you develop analytical and critical thinking skills. However, here is something extremely important. Never assume that every university has the same entry requirements. Whether you're planning to study in Sri Lanka, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, Singapore, or anywhere in this world, always check the specific entry requirements of the universities you're interested in. At the same time, don't limit yourself to only traditional degree options. The world of work is changing incredibly fast. Many of today's fastest growing careers barely existed 10 years ago. Think about fields such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, renewable energy, supply chain management, and design. To prepare yourself for success, try thinking backwards. Picture yourself working in one of these exciting careers, then work backwards to identify the O level and A level subjects that will provide the strongest foundation for reaching that goal. Seek advice. Now, let's talk about getting another perspective. Your parents know you extremely well, and of course, you know what you enjoy. But your teachers see a completely different side of you. They observe how you solve problems under pressure, how you contribute during group activities, and how you demonstrate creatively and leadership inside the classroom. Sometimes a teacher or career guidance counselor can recognize strengths and talents that you haven't even discovered in yourself yet. That's why it is important to have these conversations before making your final subject choices. Looking beyond traditional choices. Let's now explore something many students overlook. Traditional subjects are often assessed almost entirely through written examinations at the end of 2 years. However, many modern subjects such as environmental management, travel and tourism, or global perspective also include coursework as part of the assessment. Coursework may involve research projects, presentations, business proposals, reports, or design portfolio. These subjects help you develop valuable real-world skills like teamwork, communication, creative problem solving, presentation skills, and project management. Qualities that universities and employers are increasingly looking for. Here is another practical tip, especially for Edexcel students. Although examination boards offer a wide range of subjects, not every school provides every single option. Before enrolling, make sure you ask your school for its subject list and available subject combinations. And if your school doesn't offer your dream subject, don't panic. You can always plan your timetable and budget in advance and study that particular subject privately with a qualified teacher while completing your remaining subjects at school. Keep future options open. Finally, let's talk about keeping your future opportunities open. This is your long-term strategy. I want to reassure every student watching this today, you don't need to have your entire life planned out right now. Your goal at this stage is flexibility. As you look at your final subject combination, ask yourself these three important questions. Can I genuinely study these subjects for the next 2 years without losing interest? Do these subjects match my natural strengths and abilities? Will they help me achieve my future academic and career goals? If your subject combination satisfies all three of these questions, you are building a strong academic foundation while keeping multiple university and career pathways open for your future. As we come to the end of this explainer, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Ask yourself honestly, am I choosing these subjects truly because I truly want to, or simply because my friends chose them? Remember, the best subject combination isn't necessarily the most popular one in your group. The best subject combination is the one that builds the strongest, most reliable foundation for your future. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. I genuinely hope it helps you make informed and confident decisions about your academic journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more educational content, study guidance, and tutor style videos. Share this video with someone who is struggling to choose their A-level subject combination, or even with students who have already started and are beginning to question whether they made the right choice. And if you have questions or doubts after watching this video, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.